Peter T. King. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America. Peter Stacey. Birthplace, Bratislava, Slovakia. More Peter Stacey, 28 of 89, the greatest saint. Louis Blues players of all time, 17 of 73, the greatest New Jersey Devils of all time. Peter Coyote. Birthplace, Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States of America. More Peter Coyote, 6 of 20, the best documentary narrators, 389 of 466 celebrities you didn't know use stage names, 13 of 26, the greatest guest stars on NCIS, rank. Peter Cetera. Birthplace, USA, Chicago, Illinois. More Peter Cetera, 126 of 603, the best rock vocalists, 223 of 739, the best singers of all time, 170 of 298, the best frontmen in rock. Peter Berg. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America. More Peter Berg, 196 of 249, the greatest living directors, ranked 18 of 62, the best action directors in film history, 78 of 104 actors who have directed films. Pete Conrad. Birthplace, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. More Pete Conrad, 66 of 80 celebrities with learning disabilities, 48 of 62, 60-plus famous people with dyslexia, 66 of 331 male space travelers. A complete list. Peter Crouch. Birthplace, Macclesfield, United Kingdom. Peter Steele. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America. More Peter Steele, 149 of 193, rock stars whose deaths were the most untimely, 95 of 150, bygone musicians you most want to see perform as holograms, 56 of 69, the 40-plus greatest baritone singers in music history. Peter Murphy. Birthplace, Northampton, United Kingdom. More the best Peter Murphy albums of all time, 313 of 316, the greatest singers of the past 30 years, 98 of 178, the best solo artists who used to front a band. Peter Beardsley. Birthplace, Hexham, United Kingdom. More Peter Beardsley, 34 of 135, the best Liverpool players of all time, 4 of 101, the best Newcastle United players of all time, ranked 86 of 200, the best soccer players from the United Kingdom. Peter Weller. Birthplace, Stevens Point, Wisconsin, United States of America. More Peter Weller, 157 of 309, famous people most likely to live to 145 of 170 if you fought to the death. Peter Graves. Birthplace, Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. Peter Kay. Birthplace, Far North, United Kingdom. Pete Postlethwaite. Birthplace, Warrington, England, more Pete Postlethwaite, 58 of 113, the best English actors of all time, 108 of 239, the greatest British actors of all time, 2 of 3, Julie Walters, loves and hookups. Peter Forsberg. Birthplace, Hornskoldsvik, Sweden, more Peter Forsberg, 131 of 150 athletes you didn't know were conservative, 12 of 502, the best NHL players of all time, 118 of 143 athletes whose careers ended too soon. Peter Cook. Birthplace, Torquay, United Kingdom, more Peter Cook, 334 of 339, the funniest people of all time, 38 of 173, the funniest British and Irish comedians of all time, 505 of 583, the greatest entertainers of all time. Peter Mayhew. Birthplace, Barnes, London, United Kingdom, more Peter Mayhew, 293 of 302, the greatest actors who have never won an Oscar for acting, 13 of 15, real stories of how famous actors were discovered, 361 of 432, famous tall men over 6'12". Peter Andre. Birthplace, London, Borough of Brent, London, United Kingdom, more Peter Andre, 53, 1019, the worst bands and musicians of all time, 63 of 124, the worst people in the history of reality TV, 370 of 464, the greatest pop groups and artists of all time. Pete Burns. Birthplace, Port Sunlight, United Kingdom, more Pete Burns, 453 of 525, which artist would you bring back from the dead to write one more song? 19 of 22, famous gay people who once had opposite-sex spouses, 34 of 147, the best high NRG bands/artists. Peter Criss. Criss. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America, more Peter Criss, 122 of 532, the best drummers of all time, 15 of 50, the best singing drummers, 122 of 154, the druggiest rock stars of all time. Peter Stormare. Birthplace, Kumla, Sweden, more Peter Stormare, 17 of 25, the 25 best comic book villain movie performances of all time, 31 of 38 actors you completely forgot were on Seinfeld, 1 of 24 actors who played Satan, ranked by how much the devil would approve. Peter Boyle. Birthplace, Norristown, USA, Pennsylvania, more Peter Boyle, 505 of 1017, the best actors in film history, 1118 of 1883, the greatest actors and actresses in entertainment history, 57 of 82, the greatest actors who have never won an Emmy for acting. Peter Facinelli. Birthplace, New York City, New York, USA, more Peter Facinelli, every famous actress Peter Facinelli has dated, 216 of 242, the hottest men of 2019, ranked 26 of 29, who should be the next Wolverine. Peter Schmeichel. Birthplace, Ladsax Municipality, Denmark more Peter Schmeichel 16 of 13 10 the best soccer players of all time 26 of 18 16 the best athletes of all time 7 of 164 the best soccer players of the 90s. Pete Maravich. Birthplace, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania more Pete Maravich 39 of 786 the top NBA players of all time 13 of 161 the best NBA players with no championship rings 24 of 133 the best Boston Celtics of all time. Peter Tosh. Birthplace, Westmoreland Parish, Jamaica more Peter Tosh the best Peter Tosh albums of all time 541 of 1891 the greatest musical artists of all time. Pete Wentz. Birthplace, Wilmette, Illinois, United States of America more Pete Wentz 8 of 55 straight Edge celebrities 228 of 260 the greatest male celebrity role models 40 of 97 which celeb do you want as your introverted best friend? Peter Cushing. Birthplace, United Kingdom more Peter Cushing 306 of 1355 the greatest minds of all time 54 of 113 the best English actors of all time. Pete Carroll. Birthplace, California, United States of America more Pete Carroll 32 of 61 the best NFL coaches of all time 63 of 329 the most obnoxious athletes 7 of 32 the best current NFL coaches. Pete Doherty. Birthplace, Hexham, United Kingdom more Pete Doherty 46 of 154 the druggiest rock stars of all time 166 of 212 200 plus celebrities who went to rehab 54 of 57 these surprising celebrities still sneak in drags of cigarettes. Peter Lorre. Birthplace, Ružomberok, Slovakia. Peter Falk. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America more Peter Falk 201 of 1017 the best actors in film history 104 of 310 the coolest actors ever 204 339 the funniest people of all time. Pete Seeger. Birthplace, New York City, New York, United States of America more Pete Seeger the best Pete Seeger albums of all time 137 of 739 the best singers of all time 330 of 525 which artist would you bring back from the dead to write one more song? Peter Ustinov. Birthplace, Swiss Cottage, England, London. Peter Bogdanovich. Birthplace, Kingston, New York, United States of America more Peter Bogdanovich 77 of 120 the best comedy directors in film history 119 of 743 the greatest directors in movie history 16 of 40 the greatest directors of the 1970s. Peter Fonda. Birthplace, New York City, USA, New York. Pete Rose. Birthplace, Cincinnati, Ohio, United States of America. More Pete Rose, 39 of 39 longest hitting streaks in baseball, 413 of 904 celebrity death pool 2021, 1175 of 1816 the best athletes of all time. Peter Green. Birthplace Bethnal Green, London, United Kingdom. More Peter Green, 67 of 162 1970s Christian pop artists, 134 of 225 the greatest living rock songwriters, 64 of 639 the greatest lead guitarists of all time. Peter Gallagher. Birthplace New York City, New York, United States of America. More 1572 of 1883 the greatest actors and actresses in entertainment history, 70 of 105 celebrities who have starred on Broadway, 18 of 34 celebrities turning 65 in 2020. Pete Townshend. Birthplace Chiswick, London, England. More Pete Townshend. Crazy stories about Pete Townshend, one of the most influential figures in rock, 104 of 136 famous accordionists, 137 of 603 the best rock vocalists. Peter Capaldi. Birthplace Glasgow, Scotland. More Peter Capaldi, 26 of 31 the best Scottish actors working today, 106 of 239 the greatest British actors of all time, 363 of 439 famous men you'd want to have a beer with. Pete Sampras. Birthplace Potomac. Peter Sellers. Birthplace Southeast England, Eurasia, Southwest England, Dorset, United Kingdom. Peter O'Toole. Birthplace Connemara, Republic of Ireland. More Peter O'Toole, the best Peter O'Toole movies, 286 of 753 people we wish were still alive. Peter Sarsgaard. Birthplace USA, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. More Peter Sarsgaard, the best Peter Sarsgaard movies, 206 of 264 the best male actors working today, 255 of 302 the greatest actors who have never won an Oscar for acting. Peter Jackson. Birthplace Porirua, Pukerua Bay, New Zealand. More Peter Jackson, The Frighteners is a twisted Peter Jackson horror comedy that deserves your attention, 46 of 80 twins in sports, 10 of 24 43 the most influential people of all time. Peter Frampton. Birthplace Bromley, United Kingdom. More Peter Frampton, 130 of 1728 the best rock bands of all time, 100 of 298 the best frontmen in rock. Peter Gabriel. Birthplace England, Chobham. More Peter Gabriel, the best Peter Gabriel songs of all time, the best Peter Gabriel albums of all time. Pete Davidson. Birthplace New York City, New York. Peter Dinklage. Birthplace Morristown, New Jersey, USA.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care. Bye.